For the first time ever, I'm kind of feeling confident going into an Alabama game. But
And you should.
We're alive.
all right, we've been told we got to get to business by Ms. Lynn, so we'll call our Operations and Planning Committee meeting to order today, September 23rd at 8:30 a.m. Public session. Do we have anybody who'd like to speak? Seeing nobody from the public, we'll move right on. Presentation, discussion items. We have an update on current projects. I know Mr. Eliazer's has submitted ahead of time and attached to our packet here his spreadsheet with all the project updates. Hope you've had a chance to look at them. If not, I'll give you just a moment to look over it. And Chris, do you have anything specific you want to talk about, or does anybody have any questions about anything on there?
I don't believe that I have anything specific to discuss. Things are moving fairly well. I will state though, for those that may not have heard, that the project engineer that worked on, the Sewer South Phase 2, John Reynolds, passed
He
away.
did, that's
did.
right. I remember
He
you
did.
talking about it during the board.
He did, he passed away about a week and a half ago.
I didn't know about that.
Mhm.
Also, it seemed like Lamar's daughter.
Yeah, Mr.
May we as a Christian society keep him and his family in their prayers, especially everybody who's dealing with sickness and death.
Yep.
All right, hearing no further discussion on the projects, we'll move on. We've got a change to our October meeting request. I'm assuming, Chris, you're going to be at a conference that date.
That's correct. The South Carolina Association of Special Purpose Districts will be having their annual conference that couple of days at the end of that week.
Mhm.
So I don't know for certain that I will have anything to discuss, but just in the event that we do, that I figure I'd go ahead and put it on here.
And that's our O&P meeting of
October.
It would be the third Thursday of the month.
that would be the 16th, yeah. So we're looking to move that date.
Yes, sir.
Do we want to just wait and see if you have anything for an agenda? And
That'd be fine to do. And I mentioned when I spoke with you yesterday on the phone, and I've mentioned with Mr. McLean that I really would like for us to consider this to be something that, the members get involved to as well. That we have, some fairly large projects that inquire for capacity here. We've got, the Target development that took place. We have the Seneca Mill redevelopment that is moving forward. But these things, when they inquire for capacity with us, the design of these systems can take a significant amount of time, as well as the acquisition of the properties themselves. But we don't reserve capacity for anybody currently, and I'm not suggesting that we necessarily do that in the future either. But with some of our areas that do have somewhat limited capacity within some of the basins and within pipes or pump stations, if an entity is willing to go through the effort to do the downstream study and to potentially invest a significant amount into the project where that is going to create benefit for the community, whether it's a housing benefit or commercial industrial. And I feel that we need to think of a way to allow them and provide them with the confidence to know that they're going to have capacity in their system if they do decide to move forward with their investment, be it the purchase of land or the design of whatever it is that they're wanting to do. So I'm going to give some thought over the next few months as to ways that we can develop a policy around that and have some trigger points or benchmarks that if they achieve this level, that go so deep into it beyond just the downstream capacity assessment, that we could reserve that capacity for a period of time where someone can't come in and be able to, I don't wanna say undermine them, but to be able to come in and get in under, beneath them or quicker to take up the capacity they're looking to acquire. So, if you have any thoughts about that, that really is, one of the things that I would like to consider over the next, the next coming month. So if you have anything that you want to reach out to me with, any thoughts or ideas that you have about how you want to do it, I'll, certainly be working on that on my end.
Why don't we go ahead and reschedule it, and then if you're not ready for that discussion or we have nothing, we can cancel it. But how does October 23rd look for everybody else, just to move it up a week?
23rd, well, or, we've moved this one to today, we could go with the 14th or the 23rd, I'm good at either one of those. Either one.
Well, that conference will be Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, okay, I understand.
I think, and I may just have it marked on here, but I may be
Yeah,
leaving.
23rd's fine with me. Whatever works for Scott.
23rd.
I'm good on the 23rd.
Yep, I'm good.
I think I can do it, yeah, I think I'm good.
Well, my calendar at the house now, I'm marking to this date and put the thing over here on that date.
All right, same time, same place, just move it up a week to the 23rd.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, October 23rd.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Where's the meeting at?
It's down at Kingston Plantation at
Okay.
Myrtle Beach. Is that North Myrtle or
Yeah,
wherever
it's
it
more
is?
North Myrtle.
I've never been to it before.
Be nice.
All right, moving on to action items. We got the request to negotiate the contract for computerized maintenance management system, CMMS, and that's related to project number 2026-01. Chris?
Yes, sir. So we had a team that was assembled, and on this review team, it was Ethan Partain, who was our maintenance supervisor, Kyle Lindsay, operations director, myself. And the three of us, we received, I believe it was 8 submittals on our request. And we reviewed those. I know I've reviewed them at least twice, and I believe that the other members of the committee did as well. And after careful consideration, we were able to narrow it down to 3. And then ultimately, went through interviews and a demonstration with those 3, and were able to come down to 1 that we felt moving forward with would be good. Now, the interesting thing was 2 of these were implementers, if you will, but for the same software system, which used to be called CityWorks, and you may have heard about this, but it's now Trimble bought it out, so now it's called Trimble Unity, I believe is the name of the system. And that was the one that, 2 of them went with that, so it was almost when interviewing those 2, which, what are the difference between the 2 that are submitting for that? So we were able to get it down to 1, and the recommendation that we will have will be to go with with KCI Technologies.
KCI?
KCI, and that's a familiar name for us as well, as I know they've done some work for Seneca Light Water in the past, but they're also ones that are doing the dewatering project. They did the redesign of the Flat Rock pump station, but we didn't know that they were in this kind of world. But they had their presentation. They had a representative that was a longtime employee of Greenville Water that is with them now, and her moving through the demonstration, I think, is what made a huge difference, because we know that you have somebody that's been on our side of the table in the utility world that knows knows the things that we would be looking at from our standpoint. So we feel comfortable recommending to proceed with them, at least, to get to a point where we negotiate. If that, for whatever reason, falls through and we're not able to work out with them, we would feel comfortable moving forward with either of the other 2. But that would be the recommendation we would go with now. So what I would like to see, and we didn't even, I didn't name them in this because we were discussing it all the way up even until this morning. As far as who we made sure we wanted to go with. That's-
Is there maintenance software, is it just for public works?
They
I've
have,
never heard of it for industry.
I would say it is. I mean, it used to be, like I said, it was called CityWorks, and it was a fully, when it was founded, that's what we use that at REWA, and it's gotten where a lot of municipalities will use it in the utilities world, but a lot of cities as a whole use it because they have, they'll use for public works, for parks and recreation. It's got a component that allows us to do permitting through it. It has a public interface that will allow customers to submit service requests or a complaint directly from the external, as well as to be able to track it to see, where they don't have to call us for updates. So, and all three of the systems that we were looking at had a lot of those same features. But I think in the end, what came about with this one was the service side of it and the knowledge of understanding how we as the end user would like to be able to use it. And we felt that would get us up and going as quickly as possible. So it's still a long process, but we would feel comfortable with it. And it is so much different now than what it used to be when I used it before. You used to have servers, dedicated servers for it. Now it's all web-based, it's all in the cloud.
So who are we approving the contract with?
KCI Technologies. And that'll be, both these items here that I have will be for approval at the committee to go forward
And you're
to the
saying-
board with for full approval.
Two of the proposed vendors were using the same platform?
And there were two engineering,
Wow.
and I would say full service engineering, they do more than engineering, but they were both, I guess you would say, like an implementer or integrator of these systems, which really we didn't know that would be the case when we saw submittals from these firms like KCI or Timmons Group was the other one that was considered, and we open it up, we're like, why are engineering firms submitting on this? We're looking for a software solution, not an engineering firm. So, so then after we read it, we understood why.
Will they operate it on our behalf, or will they just install it and then be a resource as needed?
They could do both. I think.
So that's why they happen. I bet they actually sell maintenance management services, and they use that platform across multiple.
Good thought.
Yeah, that was part of the consideration we had when we put out the request for, I think that was a request for qualifications. So when we advertised that, we considered, what's our first year cost and what are the long-term costs and what are the optional costs that go along with it that we can participate with or elect not to. And to be honest with you, a lot of them cost-wise came in very much the same, even with this consideration here as well. But where we felt with this, we would get that the system's the system. You're paying for the system, but it was the service after the install that we felt we would receive the benefit from if we needed it. And that they work, with Lynn, in her capacity as the office manager, and you've heard about her issues that she's had with our financial system. This one also seemed to have the longest list of other financial systems that it would integrate with, and it's direct. So, and we'll change financial systems as well, but we felt it was best to select this first, and then with this, then move forward with who the financial software systems would be that would allow us for inventory control, for costing projects. It would allow for external contractors. Would have a portal to come in and enter
I was
information.
wondering about that, okay.
So-
They'll be the ones that put in your assets and give them a number and all that,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, that makes.
Was their annual maintenance contract comparable to the other two?
Oh yes, sir, they were.
Okay.
They were. And, it was quite honestly difficult to even narrow it down to three, because I think all the three of us, we're looking at it all from different levels. I'm looking at it from the financial reporting side of things. Kyle's looking at it for the asset management
Mhm.
component, and Ethan's looking at it from the ease of use, the data, because they're gonna be the,
Yeah, they're gonna be the end users, that's right.
so the product, again, two of them had the exact same product
Well,
with the Trimble.
We've done work with KCI in the past on other projects, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
know we have, but I didn't know if you have.
all right.
All right, so we have a request to authorize the director to negotiate the contract with KCI Technologies for project 2026-01. What is the wish of the committee?
Make a motion to approve.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to authorize the director to negotiate that contract with KCI Technologies. Is there any other further questions, comments, concerns? All right, hearing none, all in favor by way of aye? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to the execute an amendment to the Ardura contract for additional skip funded collection system rehabilitation, project 2024-08. Mr. Eliezer.
All right, just to set this up a little bit, that the skip funds that we had received that were to fund 3 different projects. One of those is with the conveyance system rehabilitation. The amount that we had budgeted initially for that project, the bids we received came in below what our anticipated fees were going to be. So, or with the budget. So we have about $750,000 additional in skip money that we can still utilize. We have the time to do it, but it's going to require additional work on the construction, administration, and field observation side, as well as some design work. So with that said, I had asked Ardura to come up with a scope of what we felt we would be able to do. And that's why I have PRIA included in this. So what we're asking for ultimately is an amendment of the contract that we currently have with Ardura that has the existing rehab to essentially expand on that to allow us to get more bang with the buck and expand.
So we're just looking at additional mileage, footage, whatever
Correct.
of the conveyance system rehab.
Yes, sir, that's right.
So it's not a new project, we just have the additional money, we want to expand an existing project for more rehab.
Exactly, that's exactly where we are.
This is nothing to do with the phone call at the Board of Commissioners meeting with a lawyer and the consultant, okay.
No, sir, this is us, continuing the same project that we have.
10 more weeks.
But it would, the ultimate scope of this is gonna, because of the timing of it, it's gonna be more on the side of the manhole rehabilitation. That's where we feel we can get
Because it's got to be
big bang for the
spent
buck.
summer of 26,
By
June of
next
26, yeah.
Yes, sir. And we're not worried about the time frame that we have out there, but this would allow for us to go out there and advertise our bids. And that's why, with the manhole portion of it, we would be able to get that turned around quicker than if we have to go, because, we have to do further investigative work if we're looking to do it more on the pipeline, but we can get rid of a substantial amount of infiltration and inflow by doing manhole restoration.
So this would start September the 30th, next week?
Well, no, sir. So we have to, this contract, if you do look at it, the very first portion of it, the under item 1A, the continued
Yeah.
services under current contract. So that has to do with the existing rehabilitation work
Oh, okay.
that we have out there now, because the contractor, due to rain days and other delays, they're going to exceed the time of the Ardura contract. So, part of this is just an extension of it. The additional funds are for the new work that will be done.
Right.
So think about it, it's really two separate matters here, but they would be covered by this one amendment. I can have Priya available if you'd like for me to call her, or if you feel comfortable moving forward with it. Now, we'll say that by approval here, again, this will be an item that will go before the board, because this is above, an extension of our existing contract with them. But this would also trigger a supplemental budget amendment, which I do actually have for the F&A committee at the next meeting, and this is included if it does proceed. If not, we can strike it from that. I still have another item within the supplemental budget request.
So they'll evaluate and identify other manhole rehab opportunities that we can use the additional skip funding for.
Yes,
And you'll
sir.
still have to bid out the work to a contractor to do the work they've identified.
Yes, sir, that's correct. Then, of course, we recommend going forward with this. We would get substantial bang for the buck, and it would be a shame to lose that $750,000. And the source of funding would just come from fund balance within that project contingency fund, which is a restricted fund, which does qualify for use for this type of project.
Well, hear you, committee. Any other questions? Do we hear a motion that we approve the execution of the amendment to the Ardura contract for services to incorporate additional work through the skip funding?
I'll make a motion that we accept this contract for the amendment to the additional services.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any other further discussion, questions? All right, hearing none. All in favor by way of aye? Are there any opposed? All right, motion carries. Executive Director's discussion. Any environmental or regulatory compliance matters to make us aware of?
The only item that we have, I'll make mention of, is we had an SSO that occurred, which is an overflow of about 700 gallons, and it spilled due to the issue with the bypass pumping we had with the contractor on the existing rehabilitation. This happened last Thursday. We believe that it reached the waterway, even though we're not 100% certain that it did. We treated it as if it did. It was reportable anyways because it was in excess of 500 gallons. But we're waiting on the report from them. That'll be submitted to DES with our record of the overflow. We also, last week I was at a conference, workshop, whatever you want to call it, that had a lot to do with regulatory updates in general. So there's some interesting news. With that, I don't think any of it's detrimental to us by any means, but it was just interesting to hear now how from what we took away from it is with the current administration of Washington, that a lot of these regulations that and laws that are now, they're being passed on, I guess the state of South Carolina, now DES, that receives money from DC to, I guess, enforce the Clean Water Act at the federal as well as the state level, that there's a lot of pressure on the state level to, I don't want to say it like earn their money, but basically to be able to continue to receive their funds from the federal government. That's what is coming. So there's a lot of pressure on DES right now to turn permits over quicker. And there was just a number of things, but turning the permits over quicker is one that we are involved with because we're waiting on our NDES permit to be issued or renewed for the next 5 years.
Now this spill, that was the contractor's pump, right?
Yes,
They
yes,
have to make the report, like pay any kind of fine or anything like that?
No, sir, we are responsible for it still. Even if
okay.
we are the ones that, because our system, because it's an online portal that we have to do the reporting on. So and besides that, they were doing the work for us. It wasn't truly a third party. They were doing work on behalf of the organization. But, it was an incident I've never seen happen before. The hose that because I was in Columbia when this happened, but the hose that went from the pump to the next manhole to bypass that section of line that they were working on, either the hose came uncoupled or it broke. So as soon as they realized it, they took action, shut it down. That's how they were able to limit it to such a small amount, 700 gallons, being a considerably small amount in this case.
Were there any costs that we incurred as a result of that?
No, so they took care of everything. We, went out there and documented it, but the engineering firm, in this case Ardura, they have a resident inspector that was out there as well. So we haven't incurred anything. But when I first heard about it, I figured nobody watching the pump, that's a big no-no. If you're bypass pumping, you have somebody standing over the pump, that way if it shuts off, you have somebody there to take action. I've never heard an issue happen with the hose before.
All right. Sounds like they were responsible. I mean, they acted responsible.
They did. From everything I gathered, they were on it quickly. And that's everything that I have.
All right, no other miscellaneous matters?
No, sir.
All right, is there any discussion that any member of the committee would like to bring to the table? Or any matters? All right, hearing none, just upcoming meetings, reference the fact that we've moved our October meeting to October 23rd, 8:30 here in the Lamar Bell's boardroom. Please note the Board of Commissioners meeting October 6th at 4 p.m. And that one's still the same, correct, Chris?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, and we are giving the Finance Committee 3 minutes of time before they start. Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
All right. All in favor, get up and get out of your chair.